Hello, and welcome to the Swole Initiative Network. You are watching the Fables of Gahlia, the correct way to start your weekend off now that we are back. Thank you all for being here. We've been away at conventions and things, and then also being sick amongst us. So apologies for being off of Twitch for a little while, but we are back. So before we jump into tonight's show, we want to run through some of our amazing brand partners. If we want to kick off with Stacks, what you got?
Awesome. Swole only roll with Norse Foundry's amazing gemstone and metal dice. Also, all our featured music comes from the free library available on Apple Music and Spotify by the one and only Norse Foundry. Use the code SWOLE, SWOLE, and save 10% at norsefoundry.com.
Betty.
Nice. We also want to give a big thank you and shout out to Griffin Co., where all of our 3D printed terrain comes from. And you can go to griffinco.com and get 22% of your order off with the code SWOLE22. And they also have a really cool griffincoshop.com, and you can buy gifts there. I was actually on there today looking at ornaments and things because I might be buying some.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. Fantastic. And Ashley, what you got?
That's me, and I am going to tell you about Hero Forge. Our fully custom player minis are from the awesome Hero Forge. Make yours today at heroforge.com.
Awesome. And we were a little bit late jumping in tonight, so I will make this, as usual, as quick as possible. We do have a YouTube channel. I will be updating that over the weekend. Hurrah! I have time now to breathe, so I will be using that time to update the YouTube channel. So we should be up to date by hopefully 2024. We will be completely up to date. I'm gonna release one every couple days, basically, until we're all caught up. So you can go. Oh, thank you for the follow, Therapy and Dragons. Where do I know that name? I know that name from somewhere. Anyway, I've been completely thrown off. What was I saying? We have
You're gonna
stuff
update the YouTube
and things.
and
YouTube
it's
channel.
gonna be done. Yep.
You can click the link in the chat. Hello, Therapy and Dragons. You can click the link in the chat and head over and go and subscribe over there. It's super duper free, so go and do it because it helps us. Thank you. Also, we have a sub goal, which is at 35 right now. And as soon as we hit 35, we will unleash a giveaway. No matter what stream we are in, we'll run the giveaway during that stream. If we hit it today, then great. If not, maybe it's one of the other ones. But you do have to be in the stream to claim it. You have to be in the US as well because shipping and contest laws and things. So there is that. All subscriptions go towards it. Already saw a couple of subscriptions come in, so thank you very much. Regular subs, Prime subs, gifted subs, if you are feeling generous, all of those go towards it, and we thank you in advance for all of those because it goes towards making all of the new shows we've been releasing, including Call of Cthulhu, The Hollow, run by Ashley, and then we just debuted Die RPG, The Ritual, run by our very own Eric, which is awesome. And then we have a ton of other shows coming up as well as the new year comes in. So thank you so much for allowing us to produce these stories for you. Thank you. Other things, if you are a subscriber, you can roll multiple dice along with the cast as well, you can hit !roll to roll a d20 in the chat, or you can hit !roll and then a d4 through a d12, and it will roll those dice, including a d100. So yes, you can roll along with everyone. Wonderful. You also get a really cool room in our Discord, which we'll have a link for, which you can jump in, and it's a subscriber-only area for you, the people. Other things. Oh, channel points. Channel points. You earn those for free. You don't have to spend any money for those. You just get them from being here. And what you can do is once you've amassed 1,000 or more, you can click the little flexing arm in the bottom left-hand corner of the chat window, and you can select any of our characters on the stream. You can spend 1,000 points per player per stream, and once 10 people all vote on the same character, they will get a flex point, which gives them a sort of side door to the rule of cool. As long as it makes narrative sense, it's made for some really clutch moments. It's a great way for you to be involved in the game. So choose who you think should get their point in the chat. Talk amongst yourselves.
We all have them.
What?
We all have them from last time. You said we could keep them.
Oh, that's right. That's
So
right.
don't worry about wasting your points this week, guys. We all have a flex point for this
But
week.
maybe
Stick
you'll
around and
spend
earn
it.
them.
But maybe people will spend. You will spend them, and then people can give them back.
We can get a
Because-
second.
Because spending channel points also helps the stream as well.
Right, I know, but you
So-
say that we could get another one if we used it?
Yeah.
All right.
Double flex.
Now
Everybody's
we have
gonna like flex this shit immediately.
mission accepted.
Like, why not, right? Like, I've never called a rule against that before. As long as you don't currently have one, you can't stack them. But yes,
Cool.
I believe that is everything. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump in and roll that trailer for the next episode of the Fables of Gahlia. And welcome back. So, last time, 5 years ago on the Fables of Gahlia, you guys were holed up within Staffburn Harbor after dealing with the drow that were eventually going to call in their arrest at a later date in order to make Losteroth answer for his crimes against Carlon's gates. But you met up again with Rhapsody once he had been called away to go and meet with one of Corin's guard, who gave him a magical item which upgraded his ceremonial sword, which had been in production since meeting him at Elderwich all those weeks / months / 2 years for us ago. Fitting onto the end, it gave the sword a bunch of new abilities, which were practiced, and then meeting up with the rest of the group, you guys decided to dress up Zero, your Modron companion, fitted with a bullseye lamp on his head with a cloak covering it. You guys managed to make your way out of Staffburn Harbor in the pursuit to head north to reach the bridge to head into the Cloudburst domain, which gets you another step closer to the Institute of the Arcane. However, a few hours into your walk, you were approached by a large duck-like object floating in the water with steam coming out of the back of it. As it approached, you saw that it was actually somewhat of a tour boat that had this sort of ornate duck-looking feature on the front. It was captained by one Idric Flintcheeks, the very admiral, I think I said Captain Crunch style garbed halfling that runs the boat up and down the Great Rapine, which is the giant river, back and forth to Riverfell. And so he picked you up and took you towards Riverfell, which you asked him several questions, found out a little bit about Riverfell, such as that it was founded by a family of gnomes that had moved from the Sprocket Citadel, which is in the New Dawn Empire, which set off some alarm bells for a few of you wanting to know more about what was happening over there, as all signs kind of point you towards that area next. Idric took you into Riverfell through the sort of wooden gates that opened up through this canal, where you see all of these giant water wheels and chimneys with steam coming out of it. Children sort of playing in the cobblestone streets. As you pulled up to the small little dockside with a sign over the spot at which you pulled up, saying "Duck to Water Riverboats." And as Idric goes ahead and starts tying up the duck boat to the dockside, that is where we are picking up. As Idric kind of finishes tying the knot and pulling it tight, testing it a little bit with his foot. All right, yeah, it should be good.
Well, thank you so much for the passage.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. I'd hate to see you just walking for days.
Me too. She'll kind of whisper to Rose, do we pay him? Or
Sure, let's give him a couple of gold. And I'll reach into my pocket and I'll give him 2 gold. That sounds right.
Oh, wow! Thank you. Ooh, okay, yeah. If you're looking for somewhere to stay, because it is starting to get on with the day, you could try the Tall Glass Tavern.
Okay.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's usually got just a couple of rooms. It's not like heavily. It's not like a hotel or anything, but it should have at least 1 or 2 rooms.
That's good enough for us.
Great.
Which way would that be?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So you just want, and he gives you directions, basically where you want to get off on this side where he's dropping you off, obviously, and then head a little bit further into town. There's several bridges, like wooden bridges that go across this main canal that heads through Riverfell. That kind of the water flow allows for these water wheels to move, and so allows for their sort of rudimentary technology to work. And so it's like, oh, you take this bridge over here and then head off down this way, and then it should be just on your left.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Captain Flint Cheeks.
Sure, that'll do.
Right.
Thank you.
We're going to get off now.
Okay, yeah, because
This
this
guy's
is my
always
boat,
difficult.
so I will stay here.
That makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
What we need to do is take Rose to a coin exchanger, because we need to get her smaller denominations of coins. She pays everybody out in gold. 2 gold for a little trip on the boat.
It was approximately, 3 minutes to cross.
Yep, that's how long it
Pretty
took.
good rate.
Sure. That's normal, right?
I don't really have any concept of money, so
I don't either.
It's
I just
normal
need
to
give
me.
some when you need to. So,
My perception of value is completely distorted.
Sounds
Any of you
completely
grow up
reasonable.
poor?
I grew up with no money.
We're going to walk away now.
Okay.
Okay.
We keep doing this in every town.
at least they'll know we're the genuine article. I mean, if someone ever impersonated us and left abruptly, couldn't possibly be us.
Absolutely. It's true. Oh my goodness, do you think that there's like an evil us out there? There's like a rhapsody that's like they wear silver instead of gold, or like
Silver doesn't really do me much justice, but
I know that's what makes them evil.
yes.
They have no understanding of their undertone. Ooh.
Imagine an evil Adeline.
I bet she doesn't even brush her hair 100 times each night.
I don't believe there's
Absolutely
a different version of ourselves. That doesn't seem right.
It doesn't seem likely. It's not impossible.
And Rose will just
Do you
kind of
think
walk
that's
in the
actually
direction.
going to
the-
actually walk away now,
No.
Isaac. I promise you. I know I made
You just step off the boat right there.
right.
walking off the boat.
She'll put her hand out for him to help her.
Yes, of course. Oh, him. Oh, there.
She'll
Come along, Zero.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for the ride. Goodbye.
hero. Your manners are so good.
Yes, it's very easy to say goodbye and walk away.
Now you're just showing off.
I think he might be malfunctioning. False.
Joking. Well, it's
We
this way.
start walking.
To the tavern is where we're going first.
The tall glass tap.
To get our bearings.
And from there,
What time? It's still.
evening, right?
Yeah, it's getting on for sort of early evening right now. You guys did leave early, but several hours of walking and then followed by Idaric taking you the rest of the way has killed most of the day.
Oh goodness, I would love to have a good cloudburst dinner. You can't find anywhere that does ducks like they do in the cloudburst. And she like looks back and wonders if she's spoken too loudly, like in front of Idaric about eating ducks.
Idaric seems fine. If you
Good.
remember, he just liked ducks for the sake that it instills confidence because they float on water.
Right. Yes, a good meal should do us good.
A cloudburst dinner? Is that a thing?
But I mean, like local delicacies. I'm sure you have things where you're from that are like, I don't know, covered in sand or something.
You do know sand's not edible.
I don't know, maybe you found a way. I thought the whole thing was like, ooh, the sand, it moves, it's magical. It's everywhere, like, you know. No?
It's around, yes, but we don't scoop it into our meals. But
It's like seafood and food.
The cloudburst dinner does sound rather intriguing. You'll have to show us which ones are the best out there. You're the expert.
Absolutely. Well, I haven't been here before, but, you know, it's in the neighborhood. Oh, once we go to the Institute, there's so much we have to try. There's this great patisserie that does the finest little scones. They make them with this, like, chocolate and orange. It's delicious.
That really sounds nice.
I think I'm just hungry.
So, making your way through Riverfell, you see, like, as you're walking along, you see mainly cobblestone streets, like very, very simple. Most of the buildings are either very simplistic stone, sort of rudimentary, or they're just completely wooden in construction. The Cloudburst domain itself is rich with trees and plant life, given all of the rainfall and things, and so wood is a very easy to obtain material for building and such. And so a lot of the construction around here is wooden. You guys walk through, seeing sort of kids playing in the streets, and then also looking across at the sort of denizens. Most of these seem to be like small folk, like halflings and gnomes, but there are sort of interspersed. There's sort of the odd sort of like a wood elf going past, or a human, or, you know, like interspersed taller folk as well. So you don't stick out. But as you walk through, heading across the canal over this wonderfully constructed wooden bridge that heads right over the top, you see like a couple of like small rowboats and things going up and down the canal that go all the way underneath the bridge as you're walking past, and they sort of, as they're rowing, just kind of wave off to you as they continue on their way through the canal. Seems like the canal is like a fairly convenient way of traveling through the city itself as well. Lots of these very small docks, almost like Venice, but not as Venice as Venice. You know what I mean? Like there's all of these like small stops where you can tie off your boat and get off and walk into the city proper. But it all kind of centers around this one canal that goes to the center. As you walk across the bridge onto the other side, taking in the directions that you were given by Idaric, again, Adeline, you see in the distance over these not very tall buildings, this isn't like heavily built up, you see the namesake of the Cloudburst domain in the distance, where these clouds like shuffle over and then stop and then dump rain for a few seconds, and then it completely stops, and then they head off moving again. And you, for the first time in a long time, feel a lot more at home right now. Even though over the Institute, there is this sort of field of energy that keeps it sort of safe from the constant showers. Just seeing it kind of rings home for you. But eventually you make your way to the Tall Glass Tavern, which has a sign in front of the door sort of swinging off on its own post with just a very tall glass, like almost like comedically tall, like very tall lettering for the word tall, and then glass underneath. You guys pushing in?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. So, opening up into the tavern, it's this beautifully simple tavern. Like, you guys have been to like very nice places, and you guys have been to dives. This is somewhere in the middle. This is a it's not dirty by any means. It's kept very clean, but nothing is ornate and over the top and sort of avant-garde. Nothing is kind of trying to push it in your face that it's definitely a really nice place. This is just a wonderfully simple tavern, which is very akin to the Cloudburst domain. Everything is fairly like homely. Nothing's really trying hard here. A lot of the people here, like not amongst Riverfell particularly, but across the Cloudburst domain, they tend to be into things like farming, because the soil is so rich and the rainfall is so plentiful that it's so easy to grow foods and things. And so Cloudburst domain tends to export a lot of vegetables, like fresh foods. It's also real easy to keep herd animals and things as well, just because the food source is so plentiful. And so a lot of sort of produce comes out of the Cloudburst domain. But within the Tall Glass, you look around and there's these just wonderfully crafted sort of benches, and not sort of like the booths that you've been to before with like all the studded leather and things in them. These are just very plain bench booths off to the side. There are regular sort of tables in the center, sort of round tables with these really nice chairs. There's also there's a pile of chairs off to the one side of the wall here. Some of them are tall and some of them are short. And the tables themselves, the round tables, are built on a corkscrew so that you can wind them down or wind them up depending on who is sat at them as well.
So cute.
And there are sort of several people in there just kind of enjoying their this sort of afternoon, early evening. And then you look towards the bar, and there is a figure standing that stands out against the rest of the denizens here. There is a very tall being, maybe somewhere in the region between 7 and 8 foot tall. This sort of grayish, almost blue-hued skin, wearing a very nice white shirt with sleeve bands holding up the sleeves on either side, with a blue vest on, almost looks like velveteen, with these gold buttons on it. He stands there with his bald head, these intricate black thick-lined tattoos that come over the top of his head. You've met these before. He is a Goliath. And he stands there with these small nose-pinched spectacles, like round ones on the edge of his nose, as he's sort of cleaning up around the bar, and he says, good day.
Hello.
Hello. A table for 5?
For 5? Yeah, well, you can either pull up extra chairs, but take your pick of any table that isn't already taken, and I'll be over in a second.
So much.
And
I'll
so
make my
there's
way
a
over
few
to
different
one.
tables that you can pick from, and obviously there's spare chairs over to the side if you need to like change them out, like for small ones, for tall ones, etc. So
I'll just lean over to Adeline and I'll just let her know. Adeline, everything's a little bland here. There's no character in this bar. It's just... There's no dirt, there's no grime, there's no...
You're
It's
upset
like,
at the lack of grime.
Yeah. It's very, vanilla.
Well, I'm certain, Lost, that your presence is sure to muck things up sooner or later.
And I just grab a seat and throw my legs on the table and lean back.
as you do, and you sort of kick back, you see over to the far end of the far wall, sorry, from where you came in, there is this very simplistic mantle for a fireplace where there is a small fire currently lit that heads up into the chimney above. But on the mantle, you can see that there is placed on top is basically a yard glass.
I don't know.
It's a glass that's a yard long.
Oh, like a
party.
drinking glass
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a yard.
yeah, party drink.
Yes.
Ah.
I think that is the tall glass.
What do you suppose they serve in something that large?
Too much milk for anyone to stomach.
Oh, a tea. I mean, if anyone could do it, though, it's you.
Thank you.
You consume more
But
milk
please
than I
don't.
think I've ever seen anyone.
I'm extremely lactose tolerant.
After a few moments, the Goliath approaches and sort of pulls out from his breast pocket a small notepad and pencil, and just like, which looks ridiculous in his hand. It's like tiny. He holds this like little pencil, this sort of thing that you put right behind your ear. He's
Like a
holding-
golf pencil.
Yes, exactly. But he's holding it with these giant, like, meaty fingers. So, what can I get you for?
Is this your establishment?
Yes, this is.
It's so lovely. And would that be the eponymous tall glass?
Oh, yes. We serve certain drinks within tall glasses.
Like what?
Generally ale. Not that many people drink things stronger than that in a glass that big.
That sounds like a challenge.
How tall of a milk do you do?
It can be arranged.
You milk 2 cows. in that glass.
Just later on, you just see a cow, like, completely, like, sunken.
Oh no.
Would you like a tall milk?
I would love a tall milk. And do you do any of those scones with the orange and the chocolate in it?
Yes. Yes, I can have that.
I'd love one
Delivered.
of those.
Yes.
Oh, we are getting close to dinner. Oh, follow-up question: do you have any rooms that we might rent for a night?
Yes, I do. I have 2 rooms.
I believe we'll take both of them.
Then I have no rooms anymore.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Confirm, because we will.
I wasn't saying that because you wanted to stay here, I don't have rooms. I'm saying that you now,
Have the rooms.
yes.
Yes. Oh, we understand each other. We understand each other.
What is your name?
Me, I am Craddoth.
Gradeth?
Radit.
Craddoth Drinkwater.
Credit, drink water.
Hmm.
It's very nice to meet you.
And you, people.
I have a question.
Well, Credit,
for
I'd
you.
like the Cloudburst special. What do you drink here, spirits wise? I imagine with the temperature and the climate and the constant rain, that the quality of spirits must be incredible.
Yes, we do have a very nice potato-based spirit, as well as a turnip-based one as well.
Potato based. Turnips. Potato based. I'll take the potato based spirit. What is that called?
Don't knock it till you've tried it. You said, what is it called?
Yeah. Yeah, Jay. What is it called? Oh my god, this is a real thing. Sorry, I just googled turnip liquor. It is real. You can have it. I didn't know this.
Yes. Yes. If it exists, it can be fermented. It can and has been fermented.
The potato vodka.
Potato vodka. Yes, I
Yes.
will have the potato vodka.
Are you also getting it in a yard glass, Lost?
In a yard glass.
A tall
Potato vodka in a yard glass.
A tall vodka.
Oh. Do you serve it at all?
I can.
This is a reckless establishment, Credit. I like
I
your
will.
style.
Don't get a lot of visitors. This is very entertaining.
Yes, I will take it in a. I'll take it in a tall
Tall potato vodka.
glass, potato vodka.
Right.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
It seems like we're in a place where there's lots of great inventions, and I've seen the water wheels and the bridges, and a steamboat brought us here.
The duck boat.
Yeah, that one. Lovely. Why is it that you haven't had someone whittle you a pencil that would fit your hands?
Because this one fits in my pocket.
Okay. I mean, I have a follow-up question. You could only... It's fine. I'll have water. Thank you.
Water.
Yes.
How tall?
I will have a tall water. Thank you.
Tall glass of water.
Yes. And whatever, is there like a special for dinner? A tall drink of water.
Like me.
Right. You are a tall drink. You're very tall. How tall are you?
Tall drink water.
There you
I
go.
get it.
Oh, that's your name. That's right. Anyway, are there like dinner specials?
Yes.
Sure.
Not that many people eat here.
what you cooking
but
tonight?
We can. Yeah, we have like a small menu.
Well, we've never been here before, so whatever's your favorite, we'll try that.
Everything's potatoes. I bet everything just French fries and tater
No,
tots.
it's not all potatoes.
I'll take one of those dinners too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if
And
it's all
yourself,
potatoes, I'm
sir.
fine with that.
Not to break the trend, but do you have wine?
Yes.
Oh. A tall
It's
glass of
tall.
wine.
More wine. Excellent. Okay. I will be back with your drinks shortly.
We're like tourists. We're just hoping we go home with a tall glass, right? We
This
just
is
order
very
some
fun
drinks,
for me. I don't
go home
get
with- go home
to
with-
interact with visitors very often. I'm very entertained.
You're welcome to come and join us.
Oh, I will. Oh, did your friend want something?
Have we established?
Zero, do you eat?
No.
Do you want something to blend in?
Do I want something to blend in? Oh, do I want something to blend in? Not do I want something to blend in?
Would you like a glass to hold in your hand and gesture with? Because we
Oh.
will need.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
What do you want in it?
Oh. s- s- What should I get?
Water.
If you could have any liquid, I bet you would really like carrot juice. They do a great one.
One tall carrot juice, please.
Right. Tall carrot juice.
That's a lot of carrots.
There's a lot of carrots.
A lot of carrots.
Okay, I will be back shortly.
He heads off towards the bar, leaving you alone for a moment.
Why don't they just sew him a larger pocket so that he can have a bigger pencil? Like, I don't... Doesn't really make sense.
For size comparison wise, this is like a regular notepad, and pencil to you guys,
Understood.
which fits in his breast pocket.
I mean, imagine he goes through them so frequently that to get a custom one each time. Though I suppose if he doesn't have that many customers, maybe not.
Right.
That would be a nice gift. You know, that's a good deed that we could do. Look at me, you have me thinking of good deeds.
We could make a very large pencil. Maybe.
But wouldn't you have to pair that with a very large book to write in?
Yes. This is getting more and more complicated.
Right, maybe we should stick to more of like a moral grey area.
Yes.
Good is too complicated.
Yes, we'll stay more neutral.
Excellent. So, not after very long, Kraneth does come around with several tall glasses. The wine.
I didn't ask if you wanted red, white, or rosé, so I brought a red because you seem like a red drinker.
Yes, I do drink red wine.
Okay.
Imagine be like, no, I don't want the tall glass of...
You had to open
No,
four bottles.
take it back. Now, this isn't like the glass is like fairly thin. If you guys haven't seen a yard glass before, then it's
Like
not
a
like
vuvuzela.
like a regular glass that's just really tall. They are fairly thin and scooped. They do hold a lot of liquid. As well as a milk, a carrot juice, a water, and a potato vodka.
Yes.
If you don't want to tilt and deal with the tall glasses, we have tall glass straws.
Yes, please.
Okay.
We'll take 5.
Regular.
No, I will not
or
drink my potato vodka with the straw.
regular or curly.
Curly! The curliest you have!
Okay.
And so brings back some like very curly straws that you can head into the top. They're like super long, so you just slide them into the top, and then they kind of like all the way down to around sort of mouth height.
Wow. This place is fun. Perhaps tomorrow we see if we can have an audience with Mr. Cobblecollar, the man who founded this place. I think it would benefit us to speak with him about the New Dawn Empire.
Yes. And perhaps, too, to get any intel we can on what's been happening around here.
Yes, and maybe he has some information for Zero? Or about Zero?
Do we feel comfortable to... I don't want to run into any threat of word getting out to those to which Zero is owed for them to come after him. I suppose we are taking him straight to them.
He is... Well, we have a wonderful disguise on him. He is very easy to spot.
True.
As you look across to Zero, sat in front of his tall carrot juice as he's sort of chasing the straw around.
This is a silly game.
You know, like when kids like try and get the straw in their mouth and it kind of just bounces off and they like chase it around. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. With a town such as this, I'm not sure how prohibitive the measures are to seeing the leadership, but I would imagine some kind and curious words might put us on that path. Maybe we can glean from Cradith here just how amiable they are.
Especially if we're just trying to learn about the history from the person who was literally there. Typically when I've found that when you ask people about themselves, they're really willing to talk a lot. So I thought maybe we would use that tactic.
It's a good idea.
Have you noticed that? If you ask somebody about themselves, they just keep talking and talking.
You're asking me if I've ever noticed. Well, personally, for me, I'm not sure if I'm as familiar with this phenomena. You see, in my experience,
And Cradith comes into view again, bringing over several plates, like heavy plates, filled with food. If you can imagine, just sort of this sort of like Irish sort of dinner, sort of mashed root vegetables and things on the side, with like thick slices of meat, brown gravy covering the whole thing, just like all of these like bright greens around the plate, and it just like it's almost overflowing.
Ooh, this looks delicious.
Yep. And as you look at it, you can just see the steam sort of rising off of the top. It's just like, this is just such like homely food.
This looks so lovely.
I'm just gonna balance my tall glass on the end of my foot and like lean back and get a sip of this cloud domain potato vodka.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's sharp. It has a kick to it. Not a ton of like sort of taste or refinement to it, but it's doing the job. It's warming the belly.
Ooh. And how much is actually in one of these tall glasses compared to a regular glass?
Just a pint.
I'm trying to get an idea.
Hold, please.
You don't have to be so dramatic.
About 21 imperial pints.
Ooh,
That's a lot of milk.
that's a lot.
What, like a liter and a half, basically.
A liter and a half of potato vodka.
Oh, no, this one says 3 pints, which is 1,700 milliliters.
Okay,
so
3 pints.
Still a lot.
3
3
pints.
pints sounds. I can finish 3 pints. Okay, that's a lot, but it's not
3
21.
pints of vodka.
There's nothing in it, just vodka? Straight?
Yep.
Yum.
Excellent. So, I mean, you guys have your meal and everything for the evening. If you don't have anything else to do, you have the rooms available to you that you can go to at any point. As you guys kind of sit in here, it starts sort of picking up into the sort of earlier side of the night. We're looking at 6, 7, 8 p.m. at this point by the time you're done with your food and such. So whatever you would like to do.
Does anyone...
I think I am gonna call it a night because I just had 3 pints of potato vodka.
Yeah, it's... You probably haven't noticed it yet
And
because
this
you haven't
doesn't look
stood up. But as soon as you're like, yeah, that wasn't so bad, and you go to stand up, and you're like, ooh.
Even for Lost.
Lost, real quick, how many fingers am I holding up? And I'll do kind of like a maneuver that's a mixture of holding up hands and like flurry of blows, where it's just
That sounds like a flex point.
give me sleight of hand versus perception at disadvantage.
Or use your flex point and don't do disadvantage.
Versus my perception? Oh my god, at disadvantage?
At disadvantage.
Ooh. 21. I rolled a 17.
A disadvantage?
I rolled a 17 and a 19, so.
Dang.
Jeez!
Can I
Yeah.
flex this? I rolled a 10 straight.
Flex it.
So I'm like, I'm watching Roz do this, and I go, "You're holding up one finger," and I just kind of like try to hold it together, and then make my way up to what I think is our room. Right? I don't know which one is our room.
Yeah, I mean, there's a set of stairs off to the far side of the bar that lead up to the second level, where there are just a couple of rooms. There's one with a 1 on it, one with a 2 on it. You guys have keys with a 1 and a 2. Self-explanatory. Simple
I'm
place,
retiring
simple
early.
folk.
From the very bland IKEA furnished vanilla bar.
That's not what I said.
I know, I'm just joking.
You said it wasn't
felt
dirty.
It's very clean and it's very nice. It's very. I was like, all right, this is very
Simple.
very vanilla. Simple. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you guys
Wow.
head to your
Yeah.
rooms. Are you splitting up, boys and girls?
Unfortunately.
And Zero.
Zero, I think, comes with us.
That's fine.
Okay, so 0 with the girls, boys to their own room. I imagine there's some kind of montage where 0 is brushing Adeline's hair.
Absolutely. And as he's brushing her hair, she's kind of like, "Oh, this is so convenient. Oh, I should catch up on my correspondence now that my hands are free." And she will cast sending, which she doesn't need her hands for. But
Okay.
she will cast sending to her father.
Mm.
Dearest Papa, I've made it to the Cloudburst domain. Yippee! I shall return home shortly. I so look forward to seeing you. Don't be mad.
Excellent. A few moments pass, and you get that kind of little prickle on the back of your neck as the message returns. where your father says, "Oh, Addie, I'm so glad to hear from you. It has been some time. Did you get the money okay? I hope so. I can't wait to see you. Everyone's missing you greatly. Papa."
She'll cast sending again.
Okay.
Hold on. I need to read something.
When players have sending and know they're about to take a long rest.
Exactly. But can I possibly twin sending?
I don't see why not. But the same message would go to...
2 people.
Yep.
Great. Then she will, she's gonna twin it, and she's going to send it to her father and her little brother. And say, oh yes, thank you so much for the coins. And be sure not to eat the sweets in my bedside drawer. Much love. Your Addie. But that was like with a like.
Yeah. Yes, I like to think with sending you can add tone and nuance to it. You don't get anything further back from your father as he kind of leaves your little brother to respond and says, "I don't know what happened to anything sweet in your bedside table, but if it's gone, it wasn't because of me. I love you."
I have one more correspondence to work on, but if anyone else wants to do something, I need to noodle on it for like 2 seconds.
So Roz in the room with Lost is going to take out the blade, his ceremonial blade that now has Korum's dagger attached to the hilt end, essentially. And he's just going to go through kind of like a monastic ritual to make this his dedicated weapon.
Mm.
So he's just going to take time to essentially go through different like hand passages over like the top of the weapon and blade and kind of like fully maneuver it in different ways to get more familiar with it over like the course.
Yeah, you can spend some time just kind of doing different, like you said, like hand gestures and movements and things to sort of almost like anoint and bless this weapon in particular as your next sort of chosen weapon. There's a lot of thoughts that come into your head as you go through this, reminding you about your father. And although you left initially because for several reasons, but a lot of them to do with him wanting to sort of keep you in one area and not let you experience the rest of the world, and that kind of set you at odds with him. You find as you kind of take your time over his ceremonial blade, which was passed down to you, a lot of these sort of warmer memories of growing up in Temple with your dad, and even some very deeply buried memories of being very, very small and seeing your father and feeling that golden aura and warmth of your mother, although the memory of her face is somewhat faded from that time. Adeline, did you have your next?
Yes. And she's going to, after applying her nighttime creams to both herself and rubbing it into Zero's general face region, be like,
I love this.
it's so soothing, right? All right. It's time for you to go to sleep. This is just kind of a time where you just kind of let your mind go blank, and then I know you don't quite sleep, but well, I suppose you can watch over us and make sure that we're safe, but also, feel free to just kind of like relax, let your mind wander, just kind of have some you time,
Yes.
Okay, great. Good night, Rose.
Good night. And, Zero, what she means is make sure you stay on guard. You're the protector while we rest.
And with that, he reaches to his wrist and pulls out his needle point rapier that he has attached to his arm.
That's right.
I will protect you.
We will sleep so soundly because of it. But you can put your sword away.
He turns his back. He turns his back and faces the door, just on guard.
Kind of like it. It's like having a suit of armor that is socially awkward.
Like most suits of armor. I was just trying to give him something to do.
I have a bit of, not quite tired yet. I have a bit of reading to do before bed, but I'm just going to go ahead and tuck myself in and see you in the morning.
Okay. And I will just lay down and go to sleep.
Adeline does that thing where you're a kid under the blankets and it's past your bedtime and you're sat up with a book. Yeah. So she's got she pulls out her book and places it in her lap. And she opens it to a blank page, and her quill that writes by itself is up and steadied above the page. She hesitates for a moment before writing. Do you know of ways to thin the veil between worlds?
As you write these words into your blank page, as you remove the quill from each word to the next, it starts to sink absorbed into the page. A moment or two passes where there is no response before these characters, again, the ones you're used to seeing, the ones that don't make sense when you look at them, but make sense in your mind. The words read, I can, with help. Find material.
What material?
Withdrawn into the page again. And you hear in your mind,
To learn.
Huh?
to learn.
I'd like to use my flex.
Okay.
She's frustrated with this circuitous answer. She's going to cast Detect Thoughts into the book. And I'd like to flex if I can to make that possible.
Are you looking for surface thoughts, or are you looking to delve?
I want to know what they're not telling me.
So you want to delve. That is a wisdom save.
Yes. I have. Have the points to do it. I'm also going to use a sorcery point to heighten a spell, so they have disadvantage on the saving throw against it.
Your DC is what? 17?
17.
With a +5 to wisdom saves, I rolled a 12, which makes 17. But at disadvantage, I rolled an 11, which makes 16.
So perfect.
So, frustrated, you direct these psionic gifts that were passed on to you back into the book itself in order to try and see what it is that is being withheld from you, if anything. And you push and you immediately hit this barrier, this strong barrier of just sort of psychic protection that's held up. But you've been getting stronger as instructed. And you push harder and you penetrate that barrier and are immersed within this huge expanse of consciousness. You start to get these emotions and thoughts. They start sort of coming in from several different angles at the same time. There's anticipation. There's a small amount of panic in there, or maybe not panic, but just sort of worry. There is a feeling of pride over you. And basically what these all kind of translate to are this feeling of hope in you that if you are able to help find the right arcane It doesn't even have to be a full spell. Just give him something. Something. You know he's powerful enough. If you give him something, he may be able to start helping you tether together this way of breaking down the veil. He doesn't want to give up that he is almost helpless at this point, but also doesn't want to take away from your sort of skills and power either, as you feel that sense of pride in how strong you've become.
You say the voice is coming from multiple directions. Does it feel like multiple entities or just like a non-centered?
So to clarify, what I meant was these sort of thoughts and emotions, it's like they're all sort of layered over. This is a very complex consciousness, and it's not one that you are used to seeing or experiencing on this plane with humanoids or anything like that. This is an extremely advanced level of consciousness that's able to kind of experience things, like multiple things at the same time. So all of these layers kind of hit you from different angles. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Sick. I think she kind of absorbs it, and she kind of sits up a bit straighter when she senses the pride. And I think probably even more so when she senses the helplessness and the dependency on her power a bit.
Mm-hmm. Especially because you've seen how powerful this being is. To need you, to admire the strides that you've made. Okay.
She's satisfied and will try to pull her mind back into herself.
Yeah. You feel like you've been able to sort of view this almost like in like this voyeuristic kind of consciousness, kind of staring into this just sort of expanse of thought and emotions in this consciousness. And so almost like astral projecting, like pulling yourself back. You're back in the room.
She'll just write, she'll pause for a moment. And she'll just write one final thing, is you can count on me, and close the book and go to bed.
Excellent. Sleep finds each of you in this evening of unexpected sort of gain in your travel, which is wonderful. Lost. As slumber finds you, as your eyelids become heavy and the darkness behind those eyelids immerses you. There is this distant sound, the sound of crowds murmuring, it can't be murmuring. You come back into consciousness. Open your eyes and they're bleary. You look around. Rhapsody isn't in the room. This isn't the same room. This is a room that you're familiar with, that you have not been in a very long time. You look around as your eyes start to focus around your room that you grew up in. The darkness of the Shadowfell, as you look out of the window, is disturbed by this glowing light. And as your body comes into, and your mind comes into realizing what is happening, those murmurs are not murmurs. They are shouts coming from outside. That glow as you stumble towards your window and look out are flames. Alighting the place that you grew up in the Shadowfell. It's instantly panicking. You reach for your sort of simple armor that you can grab on and put on. You grab your chain and wrap it around your arms and head out, kicking open the door. You rush out and you see a sight that you've seen before. You're in the Penumbran Expanse. You are at the edge of this black sea in the Shadowfell. You look out and see the city as everyone is in panic. You look across to the other side where these mountains form into this one opening, this one pass that lets you into this sort of riverside city that you grew up in. And ahead, running towards your home, are the Shadar Uruk, the Shadow Orcs. The Shadow Orcs that you had fostered between you and your clan, this very tenuous peace where they live in the mountains and you hold the land below, sharing what little resources that the Shadowfell offered you. You see them headed towards the pass. Small in the distance right now, but these raining arrows of flame coming overhead and landing in your home. You look across the street and see your brother, Irvan, also wrapping a chain around his arm. And he looks at you and nods, and you guys head into the streets, starting to assault what few of these shadow orcs, these large, muscled, gray-skinned, like their ears are sort of elongated and distorted, their jaws sort of sat to one side. Everything about them is kind of broken, like a regular orc, but just broken and extended. They seem to have all of these odd joints in their arms and bones jutting out from halfway through, attacking your home. You managed to take out several of them in the streets, where Irvan stands and looks at you and says, "There are too many coming."
Take the others. Flee across the pass. I'll hold them here. Brother, this is my destiny. I will hold them here.
No. You you need to go with the people. I will stand at the pass.
No, the people need you. Our family, our clan needs you. I am destined for this. I'm ready.
Look, we can fight about this later. Come on. And points to several of your clans sort of falling out of the buildings and sort of cradling younger Shadar Kai and things. He directs you to get a hold of some of them while he goes off to the one side. And you guys eventually take these families over towards the docks that lead out into this black sea, the Penumbran expanse, and you start helping them onto these ships. He says, "Now you need to get on these ships. You are a capable captain. You need to help these people help our clan find somewhere to get to."
And then I take my spike chain and I take one end and I stab it into the ground. I plant it into the ground. And I just tell them, our clan needs a leader. I can fight, but where they're going to need a leader. This is my destiny. Don't take this away from me.
You are
And
so
then
stubborn, Losteroth.
You've had all the glory for all these years. You've won the champions. You've led the clan. Let me have this moment, brother.
You're really not going to let me go, are you?
I'm not gonna let anything get past here. Nothing will go.
I believe you. I believe you will protect our people. And his shoulders slump. He lets his chain dangle to the ground, almost in submission. He takes a couple of steps forward and he kicks the back of the chain up towards your chest, and it poof, hits you square in the chest, knocking you back onto the deck of the ship as it starts to pull away. He looks up at you and says, "I know you'll protect our people," and runs towards the pass, dragging his chain, swinging it around. You watch as the ship floats away into the sea. You look ahead at your twin brother running into this army of shadow orcs, and he tears into these bodies, just decimating them in the streets to get up to the pass. As everything goes silent, in your head, and you can only watch him as he runs in. He looks back for 1 second, and you swear he can make eye contact with you, but it's too far. He turns and swings his chain, taking out several other shadow orcs, as eventually these arrows start sinking into him. You see him sort of writhing in agony as he sort of breaks the wood across them, leaving the arrowhead stuck in him as he continues to hold the pass, allowing the ships to leave. More arrows sink into him. He staggers, taking out several more. Now looking almost like this sort of porcupine of wooden arrows stuck into his back and front. He slows and drops to his knees, looking up and holding his hands out, smiling as the orcs come in, surrounding him, and their blades fall.
I imagine there's just a close-up shot of me, and I'm just like, damn you. I'm angry, like criminals are holding it.
As you feel this anger welling inside of you, unable to determine whether it's anger at him sacrificing himself or anger at the stolen glory that should have been yours. That's why we're going to take our 10-minute break.
Oh, man. Wow.
Damn you!
We will be back in 10 minutes to find out more about Riverfell as you guys wake and take a little jaunt about town. So thank you so much for hanging out. Please do continue to do so. We will be back in 10 minutes to finish this one out. And welcome back. So, last we left off, you guys had tucked in to your beds in the Tall Glass Tavern within Riverfell. Lost had a drunken potato vodka induced dream and or memory reliving the fall of his twin brother Irvanoth. And so as morning crests through the windows, the sunlight hitting the backs of each of your eyelids, you all wake up at level 9. Congratulations. What would you like to do?
Never drink a tall glass of potato vodka again.
That's why I drink things.
That's why I just drink the dark liquors. Fire brandy and a dwarven scotch.
When we wake up, is Zero still at the ready? Milk is so good for sleep. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Zero, you can be less vigilant now. You can calm down.
Oh, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for protecting us all night.
You are welcome. Shall we brush hair?
We shall.
He grabs the brush and just starts
Now, Rose, do you think we should deal with the disguise in all for Zero today?
Well, we need to do something that's more convincing.
I really thought the lantern was gonna do it. Oh right, and I put the glasses over the lantern too. I think I gave him some glasses.
Yes, you put glasses over the lantern, which is on his head.
I would like to think that we took that off while we were in the room.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps we see if, Roz is very good with all of this stuff, clothing and disguises and things. So what if we let him have a go at it and
Yeah, we can let him take a stab at it, see if he can do better than the lantern. Sure. We'll see what he can come up with. Should we go see if they're awake?
sure.
Go to the boys' room. Knock, knock, knockety knock. It's us.
Are you guys already awake?
Yeah, I get up and I do the thing where I dunk my head into the wash bin, and just whip it out like Loki, with all the water just flinging off, and just
Your
wipe
hair
my
flick.
face
Yeah.
clean.
Charming. Roz will be probably sat across the other side of the room, drinking like morning tea. Did you sleep well, Lost?
Remind
Do
me
you
again.
sleep?
Yeah. When I drink that much, I sleep. I meditate normally, but if I drink that much, I'm sleeping. Just remind me again, never to drink anything but dark liquor. Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
And then I uncork the alchemy jug, the wine section. And I'm like, hair of the dog. I drink some of the wine to clear my head. It's like
Can't
an
get
unending
hungover
cycle.
if you never sober up.
It's an unending cycle. You get drunk, hair of the dog, get yourself better, get drunk, you need more hair of the dog. Yeah. Did you hear a knock at the door?
Knock, knock, knockety knock.
I'll go over and open it.
I love that. That's Adeline's version of Penny, Penny, Penny.
100%.
She says it out loud as she's doing it.
Oh, I know.
Knock, knock, knockety knock. Oh, hello, good morning. Rhapsody, Rose had the very gracious idea of letting you have a stab at disguising Zero today. I know the lantern and glasses worked perfectly yesterday, but if you want to try something else, have at it.
All right.
I'd also like to think that we all three just shoveled into their room.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I imagine Zero is directly behind Adeline and just kind of leans over to the side and waves from over her shoulder.
You remember Zero, right?
Hello.
Yes. I can't forget a face like that. What exactly did you have in mind, Zero, as far as how to look?
Oh. I do not know. I don't know how I should look.
Well,
I have
There's no-
always looked like this.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a little conspicuous. You draw a lot of attention because you look so interesting and cool.
So I should look uncool.
There's also people that are wanting to potentially harm you. We don't really know why you were being brought this direction. So it's also for your safety.
I see.
How big is Zero again?
I believe he's medium sized.
Medium size, okay.
Oh my.
Would he fit in like a carriage, like a baby carriage, and we could just cover him up and just cart him around?
Yeah, no,
It's a lot easier than putting a disguise on him.
He is medium sized, so he is like quite wide,
Okay.
given that his
Got
Modron sort of body is a sphere.
Could we just call him an experimental warforged or something?
Is there
I
something
mean,
we could...
So automatons and things don't really exist on
No,
this continent, at least.
not on this continent. Oh, we've never heard of a warforged before. I've seen one, maybe.
Oh.
No,
The closest that you can think of
was the copper.
seeing would have been the Shadar Kai that you fought that was
Yeah.
partially mechanical, and then the
Yep.
drawings of the rudimentary automatons and things that were in the books in Hall Boulder.
Got it. I think we should be. We've got a really long, big, billowy cloak on Zero, right? I think.
Yes, stands up and it.
Yeah, it's the cloak of Bill.
What if there was some kind of mask that we could maybe
Just
have
put over the lens?
fashion? And maybe, I don't really know how this is going to work because this isn't really my area of expertise, but could we make it look like he has two eyes? Still very odd looking creature, but you know, a mask that would give him an additional eye, and he was wearing the cloak anyway.
He's got one big central eye.
In the center of his body.
So we would basically need to move, I don't know, maybe there need to be some, it would be very...
Or we put the mask on the lantern
On the lantern
that's on top
to
of his
make it a
head.
head. That's why we put the glasses on the lantern.
Exactly.
that.
You see, we may be coming back to this idea.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna look at Roz
How about
like,
we
help.
just walk? How about we just walk very intimidatingly, so that nobody brooks any questions? We just mean mug and just look very. I'm good at that.
I'm not sure we're necessarily worried about someone snatching him just from the street, but if word gets out that he's here and he is supposed to be delivered elsewhere, then I'm afraid that, well, they might send people in force to get him, or I don't know.
And all of us.
I mean, if they send people and we can manage not to kill them, then maybe we'd get answers.
There's a really fine line between stealing and liberating, it seems.
Well,
Perhaps a helmet of some sort? To serve as like a facial focal point.
helmet.
That's so smart, and I feel so dumb that none of
I'm not
us
taking
thought of
it.
it.
Yeah.
Literally the
You feel so dumb for not thinking of something that would be associated with a head and instead using a lantern as a stand-in head.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Mm.
such a good idea.
Wow.
We were trying to fashion a mask, a
I
human
know. I
mask.
was like, we could just make it
To
like
attach
this.
to a lantern.
Attach the lantern.
Oh my god.
Yes, let's stop and get a helmet.
But he's very big. So we might have to have one made.
What?
No,
No, it's just gonna sit on top.
sit on top of his
Oh,
head.
I
go.
thought he was gonna wear it.
No, it's just
What
gonna.
would that do?
it's
Then
gonna
he's
look
a
like a head.
giant walking helmet with little legs. I don't know.
He's basically a walking eyeball.
Yeah,
He's a
because
walking eyeball. So we gotta make his eyeball look like his body. Basically, he's like a snowman. Basically, he's like a snowman.
Exactly.
So
We have to fake
putting
the
a head-
head.
yeah,
Trying to find the picture that you.
and the eyeball on his chest is just a really cool T-shirt. Yeah, really cool. Design on his clothing. The Beholder T-shirt.
this is
Awesome. Let's do this.
okay.
Does that mean we get to go shopping?
I suppose so.
Just for a helmet. Just a quick,
We don't
easy.
have a helmet, like a spare helmet. We've
I don't have a
never.
hat. I have a hat.
I don't either.
Cover this up? No.
It's
No.
kind of hard to put helmets with the horns and everything.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. To the smithy.
Yeah. And as we're walking to the smithy, I make it very clear: we walk in, we get a helmet, we'll walk out. So if we go shopping, we go in, we get it, we walk out. We don't walk down the aisles. We don't. Yeah.
The last time we were at a smithy, you were the one who took forever because you wanted new armor.
Yes, this seems like more of like a self get than.
That
If this is an
custom
affirmation.
ordering a set of armor. This is it's a quick grab helmet. Yes.
Purchase. Not
Purchase.
grab.
Mhm.
I feel like the verbs are really important.
So we'll step
Um,
out to.
Is there like a
Town.
discount armorer?
So if you go and ask
Credit.
Cradith, yeah, he would say that there's not really like an armorer in Riverfell, but you could try the Head Above Emporium, which is kind of like a mishmash shop of just like things. So it depends what they have in stock at the time, but that's probably your best bet if there's going to be anywhere that has a helm in Riverfell.
See that's the bad thing. See, instead of walking into like an armor shop to get a helmet, we walk into like a TJ Maxx to look for a helmet, and we're fucked. So we're gonna be shopping for the rest of
The next 3 weeks.
next 3 weeks.
The
Just kidding.
deals. You can get nearly expired face cream.
Okay, let's go to the Emporium.
Okay. So heading to Head Above Emporium, Do you do you guys want this to be a very quick visit?
Yes.
Do you just want to be in and out? Great.
Yes.
Okay. We won't role play the entire head above Emporium. I would say that you're probably able to get a like very simple sort of helm. Maybe like 4 or 5 gold total for something that's not a piece of shit. Something that's like, oh yeah, you want armor? Okay, this is a good helm. In which case,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Using helm, full face guard, you know.
yeah,
Mhm.
almost like a centurion, like with a
Yep.
nose bridge, and then sort of cheek guards around the side. Tall comes to a point on top.
Yes.
Got it. I paid
So-
for it.
For 5 gold,
Got it.
you're able to pick that up.
Adeline also wants to go through and see if they have any like sacks, like just kind of like a small little just non-magical little like sack that's about yay big.
Okay, so
Like a
yeah,
cloth.
okay, so like almost like a belt purse, that kind of thing,
Yeah, but that would fit
like a
in
cinch
the
strap
helmet.
kind of thing that would fit
Oh, you're trying
in
to
the
stuff
helmet. Okay,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
we'll include that within the 5 gold.
Great. She takes that and immediately pushes her face against it, and it leaves like the makeup smudges of like where her face is. And she's gonna stuff some spare clothes in that and put it under the helmet. So if someone looks really close, there's at least like, you know?
Yeah. No, as soon as you said you press your face up against it, I was there.
Great.
Cool.
Glad.
Okay. Yeah. So, so filling up the interior of this helm and placing it upon the top of Zero, and then the hood of the cloak on top of that as well. Are you putting the glasses on there as well?
No. I
I
think
don't.
he's
I don't think that's
perfect.
necessary.
I love the way that you're like, no, don't be silly.
Don't be silly. There's just a sack filled with some spare socks that has makeup smudges
No.
on it, shoved into.
That's
We
too
don't want to draw
far.
attention to it with glasses and a helmet.
Okay. So the cloak is billowing on top of the helm, which is filled with a sack with an imprint of makeup.
Yes.
And he
Now we can
looks.
present ourselves to the city leader, to the town leader, Mr. Cobblestone.
Yep. So, where would you like to go?
When the captain guy was telling us about the Mr. Cobble Collar, did he say like where we could find him, or where he like typically?
Yeah. So, quick shout out to Old World Charm. Thank you for the raid. Hello, welcome in. Yeah. So, he said Wilpus Cobble Collar.
Wilburs?
Wilpus.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Wilpus. Wilpus.
Wilburs.
Wilpus Cobble Collar. Usually hangs out in a little store come just kind of warehouse that he's almost like retired into, called Steaming Mad Ideations.
Right. That's right. That's where I want to go.
Right.
Yeah. So you're able to find directions to essentially what is like a windmill, like style building with this water wheel that is stuck in the canal itself that's churning over. And you can see that like all of these like pieces and things are moving around, all of these wooden structures moving, these like cogs and winches and things all over the place, just like this, constantly in motion around this structure, but with stone kind of taking up the first like 6-7 feet of the bottom of the building. You sort of push through the doors and you see utter fucking chaos inside this room.
And behind me, apparently.
Yep. Where there are all of these like bits and pieces of sort of equipment that's all moving around inside. You can see that there are like little sort of almost like floating sort of drones and things, but with like little wooden wings kind of flying across like in front. Like you walk in and you have to like duck because they're going in over the top of you. There's on the side, there's this giant contraption that almost looks like what's the name of one of those machines where like the dominoes knock into one another and it knocks a ball. Yes, thank you. That seems to be powering like a coffee pot over to one side. There's just all of this absolute chaos going on. And there at the back there is this counter with some space behind it. You don't see anyone right away until you look down and you see this wooden structure, like this wooden construct that has this little like tin almost like chimney sort of attached to the side of its head that comes out, this like little stout pipe with steam coming out, this wooden bucket of a head, like a literal bucket, with these little cutouts for eyes that glow blue, looks up at you and says, "Oh, hello. Can I be of service?"
Bucket. Why didn't we think of that?
Right. We were looking for Mr. Cobblecollar.
"Oh, of course. I can help you with that." And just starts like waddling off to the side, like awkwardly moving. And you can see like all of his joints and things that he's completely like wooden made, almost like this little sort of like wooden automaton style thing. Stands about like 2.5 feet tall. Just starts waddling off towards the counter. "Yes, please come with me."
Okay.
And leads you towards the counter where he where there's like the counter that would like be lifted up. He just kind of walks under the thing and carries on going up this sort of, what you can hear is this like set of stairs where you can now see him behind the counter as he walks off towards the back of this like windmill structure, where he says, "Oh, by the way, my name is Dibble. It's nice to meet you."
So nice to meet you too, Dibble.
"Yes, if you don't mind waiting right here, I'll be back with my creator."
Thank you.
And he sort of hobbles off towards the back. A few moments go past, and then he walks back holding the hand of this very elderly gnome, who sort of comes into view with this big, like wide nose and these large, sort of elderly ears with white hair sticking out of it. This horseshoe of white hair that's kind of sparse in itself. with a sort of blanket wrapped around his shoulders that's kind of like this red and black sort of gingham uh, uh, as he sort of hobbles out with these giant, like bushy eyebrows on top as he opens his eyes and they go wide and you see like the whites of his eyes underneath these brows and he says, "Ooh, hello. You asked for me?"
Yes. Hi. We wanted to see if you had some time to talk about yourself.
Oh, I mean, I don't have that much time for this life. But I can answer some questions.
Sure. Is there a place where you would like to sit down?
Yes, we have some seats over here, and sort of leads you around with Dibble kind of like holding his arm up as he like hobbles along towards the seat where Dibble kind of helps him up onto this little chair where he
Wonderful. Is this your creation? And I gestured to Dibble.
Oh, yes, created him a long time ago, but I don't like to call him a creation.
Oh, so sorry. He called you creator, so that's
No,
why.
no. Yes, I understand. I don't take offense to it.
How do you refer to him?
Right.
It, them.
Yes, he's more of a son.
Oh.
Oh,
That's nice.
so sweet.
That is nice. Have you created other sons?
Yes, but not made of wood.
Right. Oh. So those made of metal then, right?
Oh, no, made of flesh and bone, the old-fashioned way.
Right.
Got it.
And how is that exact? I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Well, when a gnome loves another gnome.
Okay.
So we have a particular interest in you and your origin.
Me?
Yes. We are learning for many reasons and making sure that we preserve the history of this area and all of Gahlia, really. And we can't really travel to the New Dawn Empire, but would like to know what you could tell us about it.
Give me a deception check.
Oh,
Oh no.
deception? 16.
Rolled a natural 1.
Oh, I could have done anything. Cool.
Preserving history. I see. Well, it wasn't the New Dawn Empire when I was there,
Right.
but I'll gladly talk to you about it.
Wonderful. What is it? What is it like? What do they create? And I'll kind of gesture to Dibble.
Oh, well, I don't know what it's like now, but when I was there, I lived in a kingdom
run by gnomes called the Sprocket Citadel. It's a wonderful place full of whimsy, where we used our proclivity for curiosity to enchant and build, create things to, I would say, make life easier, but it's mainly for the sake of life, enjoyment. We have a, how to put it? We have a natural curiosity for tinkering and seeing how things work and how we can affect them in a purely playful sense. Eventually, the Sprocket Citadel became a large city. Large city. And, well, what? I'm sorry. What would you like to know about it exactly?
I guess we were wondering. What was there?
How did the New Dawn Empire come to be? That's I'm curious about.
New Dawn Empire. It is a good question, but you see, the gnomish people, the kingdoms sprung from the mountains, which is where we lived, where we came from. The Svirfneblin, the deep gnomes living under the mountains, and us living within the mountaintops themselves. Eventually, the villages became towns, towns became cities, cities became an entire kingdom. As we were establishing ourselves, well, no, it was quite a while after we established ourselves, really. Time gets to be odd when you live as long as I have. But after some time, there was another kingdom that seemed to come to fruition overnight, it seemed, to us at least, where these humans built up this wonderful kingdom. Wonderful. And they struck an alliance with us. You see, Agarin, the area, it's not a particularly easy place to live. It's very dry. It's plain expanses. It's not easy to grow food. But they had these ambitions for progress. And they saw to give us almost direction to our tinkering, our whimsy, our ways to improve both of our lives. They're very, very good at coming up with ways to apply our whimsical tinkering ways to pure application. And so the union between Brassfell and Sprocket Citadel came to be. We showed them the technology, as they called it, of tinkering and enchanting, and they gave us direction, purpose. They're very odd humans, you see. They don't live but very long. So they all want to have this profound effect on the world, a legacy. Each one of them. It's very overwhelming originally. But then you come to understand that because they only live but a blink, they want to have some impact on the world, want to make it better. And so we began to work together, the two kingdoms, helping to further along their understanding and helping to allow them to have some impact on the world. And that's basically how what is now known as the New Dawn Empire, how that came to be. It wasn't technically known as the New Dawn Empire until they secluded themselves, which was after I had left.
Secluded themselves from the rest of the world or from the Gnome Kingdom?
Oh, for Agarin itself as a nation was completely closed off from the rest of the world.
Right.
Interesting.
What kind of examples do you have of how they would use your genius to make an impact on the world?
Oh, genius. You are a flatterer. For example, they wanted ways to protect themselves. And so we formulated ways of using black powder and projectiles in order to protect their cities from further away, so that they didn't have to use swords and things and get up close. That did more impact than just a bow and arrow.
You built weapons for them.
Weaponry.
Yeah, yes, sort of protective arms, yes.
And this served their cause for a positive impact?
Yes, the walls were very fortified. They didn't have any issues with invading peoples or anything like that. It was, from what we could tell, we did a good job together.
I'm sure you did a wonderful job. Do you know, or maybe you have your own theory, why they were trying to keep everyone else out?
Oh, that I don't really know. It happened after I had left the nation. I can only surmise that it was to further their protections. They seemed somewhat almost paranoid with their protections, although they are humans, and so this is only to be expected. Unfortunately, humans have this pattern of taking from other humans and other lands. And so I could only assume that this paranoia of having their lands taken from them was just exacerbated
over time with the fact that it hadn't been taken.
And this is just my opinion on this matter, but it seems kind of odd to want to protect yourself from yourself, almost, if they're afraid of people doing what they've done to others.
Well, not that I know that they took it from other people. They just sort of developed the kingdom over time. But other humans make a habit of taking what isn't theirs in terms of land.
Oh.
Again, it's this curse of legacy.
I don't really understand that concept. You either
No, me either.
you're here and fate wills it, and then you're not.
Yes. Some are here for a lot longer than others.
That's right.
How long have you been here?
Here? Or
Well, both. In general, your lifespan, and here in Riverfell.
I'm 438 years old.
My goodness, you don't look a day over 320.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere, dear.
And here in Riverfell.
Riverfell, the past, well, somewhere around 100 years. That's why you see so many of my contraptions up and around the area from my younger days.
Yes, we've been admiring the handiwork around the city. It's truly unique in that.
Well, you know, my son has carried on the tradition. He's in the area with his wife.
Oh, we're not talking about Dibble.
Oh no, Dibble is right here with me. My other son has a life of his own.
Oh.
The flesh son.
Yes, the flesh son.
That is an odd title.
Yes. Well, his name is Dorritz. That's probably easier to refer to him rather than flesh son.
Potato, potato. Dorritz, you say?
Yes, Dorritz. He runs a ballooning business.
Balloon?
Ballooning?
Yes.
Is that a means of conveyance across great distance, or is that more a novelty?
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, maybe
Quite
we'll
the entrance at the institute.
maybe we'll talk to him as well. Sounds like more history that
Yes,
we
he
might want
runs-
to learn about.
Runs the business with his wife, Rondry.
Andre.
Well, it's lovely that they've taken after their very talented father, Dorritz. And although Dibble, too. He's a very polite young man. The Dibble.
Dibble, like, stands there and tilts his head and says, "Oh, thank you.
You're
He's
very
a-
welcome.
He's a good boy."
And through like smiling teeth, Adeline asked Rose in her brain, no one else hears this, are we going to tell him about Zero?
I don't think there's any harm in telling him. Can I make an insight check on
No.
him?
Yes. What would you like to read into him?
I mean, I've been asking his questions about like the history, what he knows about, basically information I already knew about, like the kingdoms, and I just was looking to see if there were any kind of like malicious like thoughts towards that area, or if there was any kind of like any red flags in like anything he was telling me. Like, do I feel like I can't trust him?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me an insight check.
Oh shit. That is.
Is he a sly old man?
Oh man, we leveled up. So this is now a 27.
27 insight. So you can tell that he's not being guarded with anything.
Mhm.
He's very much an open book. Like he's old.
Right.
He doesn't give a shit. He's
Right.
just living out his last few years. You know what I mean? He's kind of come to peace with that as well. What you do get with the 27 is there's something about the way that he spoke about the armaments, where it definitely seemed like he didn't agree with building them.
Okay. Okay. Then my answer to Adeline is the same. I don't think there's any harm in telling him. We have a piece of information, and I'm going to kind of look around and look it back at him. If we had something very secret we wanted to share with you, is this a safe place to do so?
It's safer than most other places.
That's what I figured. We came across a creature that's not from this plane, but has spent some time in the New Dawn Empire. We don't know what he's being used for, but he does have quite a lot of information about what he's been used for. And I'll step over to Zero, and I'm pretty certain you've never seen a creature like this. And I pull back the cloak hood and I remove the lantern, but this is our friend Zero.
Helmet now.
Helmet.
Hello. He kind of squints at it and says, well, you're right. I haven't seen one of these before.
We think he was being...
His name is...
This is Zero.
Oh, hello, Zero. Hello. Hello.
He has a lot of information about things like... What did you call it? A soul... What was it?
A soul engine.
Soul engines. That's right. Do you know about those?
Soul engine. So...
And just to maybe like help him jog his old man memory, I'm going to pull out the one that we have.
You see his big bushy eyebrows raise, and his eyes widen as he says, oh, they did it. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Yay! Yeah,
Yes,
you're
before we
talking to
get
the right
into the
person.
rest of that.
So many cute little robots and old man.
Yeah.
There's little Dibble. Little Dibble and Wilpus. Yes. Hey, thank you for hanging out with us. I keep looking at the wrong camera. Thank you for hanging out with us as we got back into the swing of things. It's been really good. I've missed you guys a ton, and I've missed playing this game. And I've missed you guys too. We will be back on a Monday for a community stream. I think we're going to be doing watching paint dry. So we're going to be painting minis and chit chatting about things as well. So come and join us for that, 6 p.m. PST. Then Wednesday we're going to be back in Appalachia for the Hollow, run by our very own Ashley. And then Friday, I believe we're going to be back in Gahlia, but stay tuned. We will keep our little schedule up on our Twitch
No,
channel.
we won't, because that's like Christmas weekend. I don't think.
That is right. Yes, so we won't be in Gahlia next week.
And then the following one, we won't either. So hold on to your shorts.
Good.
January will be there.
So this is the last Gahlia of this year.
We didn't.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so we'll be back in 2024. We'll put up some notifications and things about everything. If you're not already, then please join our Discord. That's where we send out all of our notifications and things to keep everyone like up to date, as well as just being able to just chit chat with us as well. We need friends. We need friends. Join. Talk to
We're
us.
so lonely.
So yeah, we'll let's see.
We're gonna read.
There you go. There's the everyone's doing it. If you're not already in, then please do consider joining. Just to stay up to date with everything that we have going on. We are going to raid Magi RPG. So drop in on them. They're playing Vampire the Masquerade. That's fun. So throw down some raid emojis. Let them know where you came from over there. Thank you for starting your weekend off the right way. It's Christmas so soon, guys. Thank you for understanding with our like rickety schedule as we get through this holiday times. It was exactly like this last year as well. So we'll be back in Gahlia in January, but we'll see you on Monday for mini painting. Have a great weekend, guys. We love you so much. Thank you. Have a great one.